with Biology Paper 1 2024. Okay, so on question 36. So the following is a food chain. So we have lep, grasshopper, bird, and snake. Right. So now I have to give you an overview of what a food chain is. So a food chain is the sequence of feeding relation among organisms. Okay, so that sequence of feeding relation among organisms, we call that as a food chain. Now we have to know the producer, okay, and then we need to know the primary consumer, and then the secondary consumer, and then the tertiary consumer. So this is based on the trophic level. So the trophic level describes the position of an organism in the pyramid. Okay, so at first we are given the producer. So the producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, and then the tertiary consumer. So and then they went on to state which trophic level is occupied by the grasshopper. So let's look at the trophic level. So the grasshopper is the first organism to feed on the producer. Okay, so this organism we call it a primary consumer. Okay, it's the first organism to feed on the producer. So we call it a primary consumer. So our answer we have A. Okay, so A is our answer. Okay, so then we look at question 37. Which of the following factors increase the size of the population? Okay, now we have ecological population. Okay, now ecological population has the factors that increase it and then factors that reduce it. So let me give an overview of this table. Okay, so we have factors that increase population size, ecological population size. We have one, ability to resist infections. We have plenty of food supply, ability to escape from predators. I hope we know what a predator is. The animal that feeds on the prey, we call that as a predator. Okay, and then also we have immigration of organisms into the habitat. Okay, so these are factors that increase population. Okay, yes, so we can even see here factors that increase population size. So we have even immigration there. Okay, so immigration talks of an organism. When the organism come into the habitat, they incorporate into the habitat. That is immigration. And then we have factors that reduce population size. We have inability to resist infections. Okay, if the animal is unable to resist infection, then this can reduce population. Then also inadequate food supply. Okay, and then we have inability to escape from predators. Okay, and then immigration, when the organism leave, the population reduces. Okay, so these are factors that reduce. Okay, so in our case here, if we look at the options, we have death. Death is one of it. Okay, and then death is the factor that reduces. And then disease, they are factors that reduce population. And then immigration, when animals are living, then it will reduce the population. So these three are not answers. Our answer there is D. Okay, so D is our answer. Okay, then we roll on to the other question, which is question 38. So question 38 is on the carbon cycle. Okay, so now on the carbon cycle, dear pupils, this question is also present in question 10, and likely for paper 2, they might give it on section B, question 10. So you have to know the steps which are involved in the carbon cycle. Let me give you an overview. So we have the carbon we have the carbon cycle. So the carbon cycle has carbon in the atmosphere. So this is carbon in the atmosphere. So now carbon goes into plants. If we see, carbon goes into plants by two processes. Okay, so carbon dioxide going into plants, we call this as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Then respiration takes it back. Okay, so this is respiration. And then also we have animals. When animals they die, they give carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Okay, and then also when plants are being fed. So when plants are being fed by animals, we call this as feeding. Okay, and then when plants they form fossil fuel, we call this as fossilization. Okay, and then we have the last process, which is combustion. Okay, this process is combustion. So you need to know the processes that are present on the carbon cycle. They're very important. We have photosynthesis, the downward arrow, okay, during the day, and then respiration at night. Okay, and then also you need to know feeding, Okay, and then also you need to know death and decomposition. When an animal is decomposing to give out carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Then we have B, fossilization. This one is fossilization. Then we have combustion. So if they ask you which letter represents combustion, so we have this one here. Fossil fuels. When fossil fuels are mined, okay, they are refined and then used in car engines. So in the engines there is combustion. So combustion adds carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. If you look at the products of combustion, you have carbon dioxide and water. Okay, based on the type, we have complete and incomplete. So in complete combustion, we have carbon dioxide and water. So the data that corresponds to combustion is A. Okay, and then we look at question 39. The following diagram illustrates the formation of acid rains due to sulfur dioxide, okay, pollution in the atmosphere. So this question is coming from ecology, okay. We have pollutants that affect the ecosystem. So we have the factory. The factory is producing tons of sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. Then this sulfur dioxide, it combines with rains, okay, and then the rain they precipitate and then condense to form the sulfur dioxide rains, okay. So the sulfur dioxide rains, they fall as acidic rains, okay. So the earth killing water bodies, okay, killing plants, etc. Okay. So the particular acidic rains mostly have an effect on plants and animals, okay. And then they went on to ask what measure should be put in place to prevent this type of pollution, okay. So we have the measures which are here. So we have deforestation, and then also we have global warming, we have soil conservation, and then using filters in the chimney. So if you look at filters mostly are devices that are installed in one of the industrial chimneys, okay. So if this is the industry, okay, if they install a particular chimney there, it will more like act as a filter, okay. It will filter the air that is going out in that form, okay. So if there is dead air that is going out, it will be filtered by the chimney, okay. So there we have the use of filters in the chimney. So that's one way of reducing pollution, okay. And then we have question 40. Which of the following is not an adaptive feature which enables an insect to elude predators? So we have to know that to elude is more like to evade, to run away, to evade, okay, or escape, okay. That's what it can mean. Then also it can mean a method of which the organisms they disguise themselves from predators. So now we have to know that the insect has eyes. Those eyes are used for sight. It's able to see the predator where it is coming from. Okay, so that makes it to elude the predator. Okay, and then also we have the mouth parts. We have animals like wasps. Let me show you a wasp. A wasp is an animal of this type. So this animal most of the times is the most scary animal. Okay, so this animal basically it has self-defense. So its defense mechanism is using mouth parts. Okay, so if you can recall, in Nyanja they call it mago, okay, and so many other traditional languages which are given. So this particular organism, when an animal which is dangerous which is coming onto their nest, it usually sting using its proboscis. So it has a long proboscis that it uses to sting, okay. So that's the mouth part. It uses defense using the mouth part, okay. And then also we have the wings, okay. The wings. This organism is able to fly away. So it flies away, then it will elude the predator, okay. But the larva does not elude a predator. Look at this. A larva basically it is something that can be picked up by anything. So any organism can pick up a larva. So a larva does not elude predators, okay? So our answer there, the option answer which is present for the adaptive feature do not elude predators, we can say larva, okay? So we come to an end of this session. Please consider subscribing, okay, liking the video, and then sharing to others, okay, about our YouTube channel. okay, as you help in growing the channel. Thank you very much.